And thank you, Chairman Wicker, Ranking Member Reed, for holding this hearing. Mr. Secretary, we have a short amount of time, so I'm just going to ask a few simple questions, and I would just appreciate if, for some of them, you would just answer yes or no. And so, Secretary Hegseth, would you agree that every senior official in the Department of Defense must reflect the values and conduct that our service members must uphold and our citizens expect?
Senator, we want to uphold the highest possible standards.
I'll take that for a yes. So would you also agree, then, that anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories have no place in our government or military? Yes or no?
They should not.
Thank you. So would you also agree that anyone who has posted, and I'm going to quote, anti-Semitic conspiracy theories lifted right out of a neo-Nazi playbook, end quote, shouldn't be anywhere near a position of power? Yes or no?
Since I don't believe the characterization of many officials in the news media, I would need to see precisely what's being characterized.
But generally, would you not say that if we thought something was coming out of a neo-Nazi playbook, it doesn't have any place in our Department of Defense? Now, Secretary Hegseth, the quote that I just read you was referencing Ms. Kingsley Wilson, the DOD press secretary. It's a direct quote from her, who my Republican colleagues on this committee have also expressed alarm over due to her comments. In fact, one colleague said, and I'm going to quote again, "Obviously, I don't agree with her comments. I trust the Pentagon will address this," end quote. However, in the months since, not only have you not addressed these anti-Semitic comments, you have promoted Ms. Wilson. This seems to be at odds, honestly, with President Trump's commitment, very public commitment, to combat anti-Semitism, which you just said you too agreed with. So, Secretary Hegseth, given the rise in anti-Semitic violence, hate crimes in our nation, and to show that the Trump administration, your administration, does have a zero-tolerance policy for anti-Semitism, will you dismiss Ms. Kingsley from her role as a U.S. military spokesperson today, yes or no?
Again, that's why I referenced the context and characterization.
Well, we'll send you the quote,
I've worked
sir.
directly with her. She does a fantastic job, and there's any suggestion that I or her or others are party to anti-Semitism is a mischaracterization attempting to win political points.
Sir, and I'm going to
Senator,
say
you're attempting to win political points on the backs of mischaracterizing the statements of a member of my department, and I'm not going to stand for that.
You are not a serious person. You are not serious about rooting out, fighting anti-Semitism within the ranks of our DOD. It's despicable. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Hear why this matters, and why this exchange should make every American uncomfortable. Anti-Semitism isn't some abstract debate topic. It's not a cable news prop. It's not something you get to selectively denounce when it polls well. It's real. It's rising. And it has deadly consequences. When a senior official at the Pentagon spreads conspiracy-laden rhetoric that echoes neo-Nazi talking points, that's not mischaracterization. That's a flashing red warning light. And when the response to being called out on it isn't reflection or investigation or even caution, but rage, that tells you everything. Because if rooting out anti-Semitism were truly the priority, the instinct wouldn't be to attack the questioner. It would be to protect the institution. It would be to protect the troops. It would be to protect the moral credibility of the Department of Defense. Instead, we watched a cabinet secretary circle the wagons, dismiss legitimate concerns, and turn accountability into a personal grievance. And that's the bigger story here. This administration loves to talk about strength, about order, about values. But real strength is answering hard questions without melting down. Real leadership is holding your own people accountable, even when it's uncomfortable. And real commitment to fighting hate means zero tolerance, not selective outrage. Senator Rosen didn't insult the military. She didn't attack service members. She didn't politicize anti-Semitism. She did exactly what oversight is supposed to do. She followed the logic to its unavoidable conclusion. If anti-Semitism has no place in our government, then it has no place in the Pentagon press office. Full stop. And if calling that out makes you angry, not reflective, then maybe the problem isn't the question. Maybe the problem is the answer you don't want to give. If you care about accountability, if you care about fighting hate consistently, and if you care about keeping extremists far away from positions of power, this is one of those moments you don't ignore. Because moments like this don't just reveal policies. They reveal priorities.